IGN. We all know them. We all know about their horrific reviews. Specifically, not really even specifically, they just suck at all of them. Video game, movie, TV shows, they're all garbage for the most part. They do have some good takes, but today I'm going to specifically go over a lot of their anime ones and how horrible a lot of them are. Terrible. Now, let's just start. Let's just start. I just saw the Chainsaw movie about a week and a half ago, right? When it came out. Absolutely beautiful movie. It's a 10 out of 10 for me, easily. Some of the best animation ever present in any media I've ever seen. It beautiful first half with just the romance between Denji and Reze. No spoilers. I won't spoil anything for those who haven't seen it, even though it's been out for a while. But it is a masterpiece, and the visuals, I was crying. It was so good. But these these absolute morons at IGN, specifically you, Rafael Motamare, whatever the hell your name is. I don't know what's wrong with you, and you have glasses, yet somehow you still cannot see. You can't. Because you gave Chainsaw Man, the Reze Arc movie, a 7? A 7! How? How? And your reasoning, much like the recent Infinity Castle movie, let's just go over what he's talking about, right? Taking a story that is told in chapters and stitching them together for a single movie is inherently going to lose something in translation. First off, what did it lose? What are you going to say? Go ahead. Please, give me an example of what it lost in it. It literally picks up right after the final episode of season 1 of Chainsaw Man. Picks up immediately after and goes right into the arc. Nothing is lost. It goes over everything, if not more than what the manga went over. In just a better way. It just went over everything. Nothing was skipped over. So I don't know what he's talking about there. This guy's just delusional. But the biggest problem with the Razor arc is that it gives interpreting the source material in lieu of a straightforward adaptation. Once the action kicks into full gear, it feels more like an anime studio Mappa's work. Like, dude, it's made by the same studio! Obviously, when the fighting starts, when Chainsaw Man comes out and the Bomb Devil and Beam all start going crazy, obviously, it's going to look like JJK Season 2 or some of their major other works like Vinland Saga. It's going to look like that because it is the same animation studio. They, of course, their choreography is going to be similar and how over the top it is. Like, dude, that's not even a good point. What are you talking about, Rafael? Genuinely. That said, it still loses the best case scenario from an anime movie arc so far, the best shonen series movie in years. Yeah, see, like then he starts glazing it from the very first episode of Chainsaw Man, where it clearly shown just that blah 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 blah. So when he meets a girl his own age, yeah. So he just starts talking about the movie, right? Current crux, it's genuinely a self-contained story, even if nothing does nothing to, like, dude, obviously, it is a movie about an arc of Chainsaw Man. Someone who hasn't seen Chainsaw Man is not going to go to the theaters excited to watch the movie. Obviously, they're going to be hella surprised because of how beautiful and just great it is. Because this is, like, I could probably watch this movie with my parents and they would probably love it. Because it goes to everybody. It's a beautiful, slow-paced romance between two young teenagers who are just trying to get by in life, right? And then when the action kicks in, it's so over the top and crazy. You don't need anything extra to understand what's going on in the action. You can just watch and enjoy because you've built with Denji and Reze. You know the characters and what they're fighting for. You know, they even explain it. Denji literally has a whole scene where he's like, why does everybody want Chainsaw Man's heart? Why not Denji's heart? It's not even, they don't even bring up really anything from the first season. You don't even really, dude, the only thing you'd have to really watch season 1 for to understand in this movie is just who the characters are. Which is pretty, not that difficult because Denji basically leaves hints and talks about straight up what his life was like before he became Chainsaw Man and joined the Hunters Association, whatever the hell it's called, dude. Like, come on. Like, what are we talking about, dude? The focus lies squarely on Denji and Reise's love story, with Denji not even transforming. Like, dude, it's a love story. It's half love story, half like combat. Of course, 100 minutes of the runtime, which also has action in it. By the way, like, no spoilers, but there are scenes where Reze is fighting people and stuff like that, where shit goes down, where crazy people come in and there's death and stuff like that. That happens. But it's all called build up, Rafael. Build up. Building the characters up into that insane action scene. If Denji immediately went into Chainsaw Man half an hour into the movie, 20 minutes into the movie, it would lose that strength when he finally pulls that cord, rides on Beam's back, and beats the piss out of the Typhoon Devil and Raze, dude. Like, it would lose everything from it. Because this is where the movie comes closest to replicating the slow burn, the meticulous attention to character acting, yup, glaze, the small glances, touches between Raze and Dan, the way his demeanor changes. Yeah, like, this guy contradicts himself. He talks about how Denji doesn't transform until 100 minutes in, and, like, bro, come on. Yeah, one of the best scores of the year has some of the best music. And then the horror begins. Like, this is the same guy, and he gives it a 7. Yeah, just good. It has some issues, and it sacrifices some of the first season's experimental approach. Why would it need an experimental approach? It is a movie set in, like, the third or fourth arc of the series. There's nothing more that needs to be experimental at all. What needs to be experimental about it? It's already got its foot set in the world that it's in. It already has the CGI mixed with 2D animation already blended perfectly into the series. There's nothing left to experiment into but tell the beautiful and insane story of Chainsaw Man. You are a disgrace, Rafael. Genuinely. Genuinely, something is wrong with you and they need to get you off the team. For what, I don't know what is wrong with you to make you think that was a worthwhile response. I mean, like, okay, let me go back onto this guy's page. Let me try and find let's try and find some of his other reviews. Now, let's look for his Chainsaw Man one, because I'm just going to double check. I'm just going to bring it up on screen. I'm going to double check because I already know this. So Chainsaw Man was a couple years ago. Like this guy, he reviews, like, have regular TV shows, have anime. I mean, dude, this guy is reviewing My Hero Academia, and he's giving Chainsaw Man a 7, dude. Like, if you're looking at old My Hero seasons compared to Chainsaw Man, dude, you might as well just give Chainsaw Man a 10 at that point. Oh, God. All right, where is it? I know Chainsaw Man was a while back. I guess he didn't even do it. But either way, insane take. Insane take. Now, another movie that he did, talking about the Infinity Castle. This movie, now, it was good. The animation, breathtaking. I don't know what they feed these people at UFO table, but the story of Demon Slayer isn't all that encapsulating. It's not all that crazy. It's not very thought-provoking. The entire point of the story is that it's basic, but it's carried by the animation. It is. It's carried by the animation and the fights and just the goofiness of the characters. Oh, damn. Oh, my God. Almost barfed up my lunch right there. Excuse me. Now, giving it a 6 is crazy work, though. The lowest I'd go for this movie is maybe like a 7 or an 8. Probably maxing at like an 8, 8.5. But still a 6? Dude, like, you're putting this at almost a 5 out of 10. Like, you're really this movie, masterclass of animation. I mean, just looking at the trailer, look how beautiful it is. Zenitsu, his fight with Upper Moon 6. His, like, basically, not actual blood brother, but basically his lightning-breathing brother he has to kill, because there's the whole... You can't even tell that it's bad storytelling, because this is one of the best parts of the entire series when it comes to storytelling. Zenitsu, the story between his master's other disciple who he fights, Kaigaku, and his master himself. That is a beautifully put together sequence in his own mind where his sensei is like, it's okay, you're my star student, I forgive you, I love you, Zenitsu. And then he pulls out a whole new breathing style in one-shots in Kaigaku. In one of the most beautiful displays of lightning I've ever seen animated, ever in a 2D scheme. Never have I ever seen something so beautifully put together, especially for lightning. Because lightning's difficult to draw. It is. It's like drawing fire. It's not easy to get down. But when you get someone like the person at UFO table that made this sequence, it is breathtaking. Right? Now, I know animation is not everything. I know it isn't. And I know a lot of people are kind of like, why didn't they just do a couple more seasons instead of just releasing 3 movies? It's going to take a couple years. This is why. Because of how beautiful it was. I know everybody has to have seen. Hold on. Let me pull up Infinity Castle scene. Like, the whole, this, right here, hand drawn, might be part CGI, but you cannot tell me that if they did this on an anime schedule and didn't have the budget of a full movie, that this would be made just the same as beautiful as it was. It can't. This is undeniable. That if Demon Slayer is gonna go out for what it's known for its beautiful animation. I mean, look at this. Come on, for its beautiful animation, it might as well go out as a couple trio of movies, especially for the fights that are coming up in the second and the final movie. All right, let's just see what Rafael was talking about after. Let me stop talking. Okay. TV shows UFA decided to make it into a film. Blah blah blah. Monumental hit. Demon Slayer was not restrained by its medium. Episodes with horrendous pacing and a never-ending series of flashbacks. Now I know the flashbacks mid-fight are kind of annoying. I understand that, but they're going off of what Demon Slayer was written with in the manga. And when you go off of manga pacing, yeah, they're going to throw in flashbacks for characters that haven't had time to fully be fleshed out. Like, the whole Zenitsu sequence, as again, that flashback gives context to Kaigaku, who we knew nothing about beforehand. But it doesn't take up too long. It's like 10 minutes, and then it doesn't, like, happen mid-move or something like that. It happens when they're taking a slight break in the fight, and they give context to make that moment hit harder. In the Akaza fight, after Tanjiro chops off his head, spoiler, sorry, manga's been ended for like almost 10 years, come on, it's fine. After Tanjiro chops off Akaza's head, and that whole flashback sequence goes back, and we learn all about Akaza's story, that moment would not have felt impactful at all if we didn't know anything about Akaza and why he didn't choose to regenerate his head. What actually happened to him, that he was brainwashed and had his memories removed by Muzan on who he was, who his wife was, what his history was for thousands of years. And it makes you feel for these characters. And it's a movie. It's a movie. It would feel even worse if mid-season you have season, like, episode 3 of like, the 8-episode season or whatever it would probably be. And then the entire episode is just designated to Akaza's flashback after he gets his head cut off. That would be even worse. But they fit it into the movie perfectly and set it up for the next 2 movies to finish off the Infinity Castle arc as well as the series. It works, and they got it to work. I know some people don't like flashbacks, but a lot of people would hate it more if one of their favorite demons, who Akaza is, because I know people love Akaza, if he died and had no context and nobody learned about his story, they would hate it even more and dog on Demon Slayer's storytelling more than it already has been. Anyway, best backstory, the franchise is done! Like, you can't say this in the same paragraph as never-ending series of flashbacks with an incomplete story. What is incomplete about it? It is literally the most basic-ass story timeline of all time. There's nothing incoherent about it. How could you call it an incomplete story when it literally goes section by section by section and tells you exactly what happened and what is happening? Rafael, were you sleeping halfway through the movie, woke up after Akaza died, midway through the flashback, then fell asleep right after it ended, and then you missed the entire rest of the movie? Is that what happened? Genuinely, Rafael. What, like, do you have it, like, there's something wrong in your head. You're missing something in there. Alright. Anyway, story divided into 3 fights. Obviously, I already talked about this. Visually, Studio UFA table gets great mileage. Yeah, because Infinity Castle is just a beautiful location. You get the right people in geography. Like the guy that did Blame, if you guys don't know, the Blame manga, beautiful manga. Oh, excuse me. But it has some of the best geography ever made. Quick side tangent. But Infinity Castle really reminded me of that. And it just has insane perspective right? So let's just see his final review here. Demon Slayer offers plenty of action and some emotional flashbacks, but it suffers from an overuse of flashbacks that undermine the story's pacing. What are we... Dude, it was 2 flashbacks that are like 10 minutes and then like 20 to 30 minutes. But that 20 to 30 minutes is filled with action and tough, great, actual good story, like a good love storytelling, a tragic backstory that we would... Where would they have fit that in, Rafael? I would love to hear how you would have done it. I would love to. If you find this video, Rafael, or anybody from IGN, please get into contact with him and have him comment, or even just anything. Give some kind of response as to what he's talking about with an overuse of flashbacks. Genuinely, how would he have done it? I would love to hear it. I'd love to hear it. Genuinely, I would love to hear it. Anyway, those are the main 2 I wanted to talk about today that really pissed me off so far. Still giving, like, how is Tron Ares even a 5? I know it's made by a whole different person, but how? How does one person get a 5 from Tron Ares and only a 7 from Chainsaw Man the Ragebait arc? How? I know they're completely different mediums, so it doesn't make sense. And then look, he's about to give this like a 9. A 7! How? How is My Hero Episode 1 the same level of strength? A single episode at the same level for Rafael as the Chainsaw Man movie. How? How? And let's see what it gave Devil May Cry. Now, Devil May Cry, the anime. Some people like it, some people don't. It's very hit or miss. I personally did not like it because of how much focus they put on Lady. There was not enough Dante in it. And Lady's character was completely removed. Like, her entire personality was a lot bitchier. Just a lot harder to watch and experience than in the games. Nothing like what she is in the games. Absolutely nothing like. She's an actual likable character with her own personality. That's just not just F this, F that, F this, F that. Oh, screw you, demon, blah, blah, blah. And they have a beautiful sequence on episode 7, one of the second to last episodes of the show, that is immaculately done. It has no dialogue or nothing. Well, it has a little bit, but it's mainly just music. It's like an AMV, but God, it gives the story beautifully, and it tells it in a perfect manner. But then they just ruin it with Lady's character and underpowering Dante so heavily. And this is the same guy who gave it an 8! Fun, if predictable video game adaptation that boosts one of the best animated episodes of the year. Best animated episodes? Are we serious? Best... But look at Dante's Devil Trigger! This looks like something out of a Ruby, like, Rule 34 animation. This looks terrible! The only time they ever did actual animation for it was a 3-second moment. This, right here. That's it. That's all they animated it for. And Chainsaw Man, dogs on this animation. It's not even close. It's not even close. Anyway. That's it for today, really. With Raphael's horrible reviews. But yeah, have a good one, everybody. And just a side note, don't attack Raphael, okay? If people actually see this video, don't. It's all in good fun. I don't actually hate the guy. I hate his opinions because they suck. I know everyone has their own opinions, but at some points you're just rage baiting, and this is rage bait, and it got me. It really did. It's been irking me for like a week and a half. So, Raphael, you won, but also, screw you and your horrible takes.